What is up, everyone? Welcome to the final season review. I've got on my screen this is the our league that we will participating in. Congrats to all the top 10 managers, and special congrats to Rushant, who finished on the top of all of us. Out of the three of us. Special congrats to James, who won the mini league. Rushant won his head-to-head mini league as well in his work league. So congrats, Rushan, for that as well. And we are now going to go through basically look at a few tools in that I found from the community, and we're going to just break down our season, see where it went right, see where it went wrong. Let's just do a quick recap of Game Week 38. This is my team. I finished 68,000 overall. I was thinking of a -8, but I kind of went against it, which I probably in hindsight shouldn't have gone against it. But ended up bringing Mane in. Thought Antonio would be a differential captain. Ended up blanking, doing nothing. Should have probably captain Mane. But yeah, 52 points, nothing much from it. Meslier, Greenwood, nothing, no one started, so that was a pretty disappointment. Rush ended up 69 points.
Meslier did good stuff for you since you brought him.
Yeah, I know. We will talk in that about my goalkeeper issues a bit later. Prashant, this is him. He bought Firmino in, bought Mesa Mount in as well.
Yeah.
And Captain Firmino.
Yeah, so I brought in Mason Mount and Firmino only because of the fact that so in my work league I was behind by about 15 points, and the guys going first had a pretty much the same team as me, so I had to drop two of the guys which he had and bring in two guys which he didn't have, just for having a remote chance of catching up, but that didn't pay out. Obviously Firmino captain, because I thought it was either or Mane or Firmino coming in which case I had to change up my striker. I knew he was going to bring in Mane, so I thought I'd bring in Firmino. But anyway, I mean, end of the season, like, it's not a bad score. 69 points, I think, was a pretty good score for the game week, and pretty happy, I guess, finishing up second.
And ended up 36,000 in the world.
That's my best.
Not bad. Yeah. And then Abin first time playing, 49. You captain Rafinha, made two transfers, bought in Aubameyang and who's the other one? Patrick Bamford. Yeah. Do you want to walk through it?
Oh no, it was a disaster with Aubameyang. Up to like 1 hour before kickoff, I had Pepe in there, and then I don't know, for some reason I was like, oh, Aubameyang's gonna have a wild in last game of the season, go wild, and then the instinct was right to supposed to be Pepe.
You had Pepe transfer Pepe out.
Yeah, he had Pepe to come in, and he didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
He was sitting there until 1 hour before, and then I changed it to Aubameyang right at the end.
Okay, you didn't use points to transfer Pepe, did you? No. Okay, fine. You just had him in mind.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So that didn't pay off, and everything else is just redundant.
So that's basically an Abin first season, 206,000 in the world. And now we're going to break down our season, see how it's gone. Let's start with the first tool, which was LiveFPL.net. So this was mine. And as you can see, the reds are basically any negative rank change. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Hold on. I need to switch screens. Let me stop share. I'm going to have to keep resharing. So we'll see. So this is mine, I believe. Yep. Okay. You guys can see now?
No.
Yep.
Okay. So this was mine. And the reds are basically negative rank change. So this is from LiveFPL.net. And that shows basically my first half of the season was just a disaster. Until game week 23, I think, was a disaster. And then the last few game weeks kind of improved, but then after the triple game week again, it went into red. So it's been a fully up and down season for me. But something that I found very interesting was, so this is the player analysis. So players I gained rank or points mostly were from Salah, Kane, Justin from Leicester, McCarthy. McCarthy I had, but like probably not the best option. Fernandez, Zaha, Timo Werner, interestingly, and Calvert-Lewin were my top 10 players. Is it top 10? Sorry, were my top 8, and then Cancelo and Kufal were my top 10. But the players I lost out on were Son, Kane, Martinez, Bamford, Diaz, Calvert-Lewin here as well, Dallas, De Bruyne, Watkins, and Chilwell. That I think is mostly due to not owning them in time, or not owning them for long periods of time, which some other tools will also go to show how it went. So that's basically what I found that was more interesting from this. Most captain was Salah and Kane for me, and most started was Salah, Fernandez, and Kane. They were the highly relied ones. Most bench, Matt Ryan, Stephens, Mitchell. That basically is like a very budget bench over there. So that's my game week from live FPL.
Your DCL in both your lists, essentially that shows how much of a, he's a hit or miss player, right? Some weeks he scored, some weeks he didn't.
Yeah. So I think DCL was more of like the start of the season is where I gained from him. Yeah. And then in the middle of the season, I think he got injured and all of that. So it was a miss. Yeah.
Well, Son hurt us the most. It hurt me like 121.6. Yes.
Yeah, that's what. So Son, I think Son, remember the game against United as well?
Yeah.
He got like 20 odd points in that game. So there were some games that Son hurt, and then the last few weeks I didn't have Son. So missed out on him there as well. So let's go to Abin's one. Let me stop share again. It's because of the Excel sheets that I have to keep changing. Let's go.
If you had to put my top 22 weeks with your bottom 16 weeks, we would have had a perfect score.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And because mine is just green till 22 and then just red.
Yeah. So this is Abin's one. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So Abin had an insane start.
Oh, you went 42,000 in game week 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Rosh had a big fall from grace.
and then, so I think this period, so fair enough, Abin was really busy for outside stuff, so he couldn't this thing, and that's why the red arrows came. And then it's been a bit downhill from there.
Yeah.
The two greens, two of them were chips, wildcard and triple captain.
Yeah.
And then game week 37, and then game week 38 happened.
Yeah.
A game week 38, I put it down to like a lot of things happening game week 38. It was just madness for game week 38. So I'm just going
to. 38, I think like I was just taking risks. Like in
that's what
I wouldn't have done what I did. So just for the sake of it, try to get to the 150, top 150. So, but it didn't work. So.
So this is Abin's one, and if you go to his player analysis, so he's gained Fernandez, he's gained 95 points. Gundogan 66. This is so Abin jumped on the Gundogan bandwagon way before it was a bandwagon itself.
Yeah.
So he gained a lot from Gundogan.
That's what my green arrows were for the first half of the season. Yeah.
Robertson, Salah, De Bruyne, Martinez, Dallas, Vardy, Cresswell. So that's the top.
Suchek did well,
and Suchek, yes.
Suchek was a big reason. And then when Lingard came, that it destroyed.
It destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like these are heavy hitting players. So that shows that at the start of the season, you had your team really good.
Yeah.
And then the end of the season is what I kind of guess. So Son, Salah, Kane, John Stones was mid-season, I guess.
Yeah.
Watkins, end of the season, probably.
Yeah.
Justin, early start. Calvert-Lewin, I don't know which part of Calvert-Lewin this is. Rafinha, this is also probably start. Martinez, Bamford, and this is Callum Wilson. Yeah. And most captain Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandez. Most started was Fernandez, Martinez, Dallas, and Bamford. So heavy leads there as well. and bench is basically a very
Yeah,
cheap
but-
bench, except for Dallas who's there.
yeah.
And then we'll move on to the final one, which is Rushan's from LiveFPL.net. And when I saw Rushan's one, I was like, okay, now this shows why he's at the rank he is at. Um,
I
because
started like 4.5 minutes or something, my first game week.
all right,
Yeah, I had a look.
It's
so
strange looking back at like your first game week. Like, how many people from your first game week do you have in game week 38?
It's like 0.
this
I
is
had I had Vinagre. I had
I think I was.
Vinagre from Wolves, and then he left.
you'll see one of the tools. They show you game week how your game week one team did compared to your final team. So this is Rushan's. Can you guys see? And like the contrast in the greens and the reds.
Yeah, wow. He's
Um,
hardly any red.
I think it's been a pretty solid season for you in general. Like your peaks, your drops haven't been too big. It's only this brief period where you probably had a few reds, but apart from that, it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened at the time. Like I know I was like captaining the wrong person, and just the players I had at that time, I don't even know what happened. Like, yeah, I think I remember that period. I was struggling a lot. I remember that 30-point week I got in game week 18, and that was bad.
Yeah,
But nah, yeah.
because that was a 30% rank change.
Hmm.
And then your top gains, De Bruyne 119 points. Sheesh. When did you own him at the start of the season?
Yeah, I had him pretty early on actually.
Yeah.
So I was always banking on De Bruyne. He got injured as well.
Mm.
But then as soon as he came back from injury, I brought him back ASAP. Because at the time, I think that's the time when Gundogan started like scoring a lot, was when he was injured and stuff. But right before his injury, he was considered delivering at least an assist and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, he was one of my marquee players early on, which is why I didn't have Kane, who was
which is but we go through the top gain. So De Bruyne, Martinez, Fernandes, Cresswell, Son, Salah, Bamford, Grealish, Dallas, Justin, and then Callum Wilson obviously here. But for every De Bruyne gain you got over the top 10k, you lost on Harry Kane here in 133 points.
Yep.
Which is huge. And then you have Salah, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, Diaz, Watkins. Watkins I know was a pain for the last few game weeks.
So bad.
Son, Cancelo, and this is Trent. Yeah, Trent. I know Trent also last few game weeks you didn't own him.
Yeah, so for me, I think so interesting. So Vardy, I never had him obviously, and DCL and Salah as well. I was kind of late on Salah. I think I had De Bruyne over Salah for a long period of time, and I think when De Bruyne got injured is when I brought in Salah. Trent, I was very hesitant only because of the price point. Yeah, I think I remember going into the double game week. I didn't have Trent, and we spoke about it, and I was so nervous. But I think luckily Phillips scored something, and that was good. But yeah. Overall, Kane was probably the biggest cost for a lot of people because people who didn't believe in Kane delivering every week. And I think it's more from last season as well. Like I had Kane last season and he didn't do anything. So I think it's more like a spite towards Kane, you know?
Well, you better remove that spite because if he goes to City next season,
crazy.
He's going to be in everyone's fantasy team.
Yeah, the big reason for me not bringing Kane earlier is probably because of Mourinho as well, right? Like, you know,
that's true.
Mourinho, how defensive he is, and he just didn't shout too many goals for me. And the way City were playing, obviously City players had much more appeal compared to Spurs, but Kane still kept scoring. So which is why he won the Golden Boot.
Mm-hmm. And then your most cap
Jimenez twice. When did that happen?
Oh yeah.
Jimenez is my differential player at the beginning of the season. And then he actually did okay. He got like 6 points, 8 points. I captained him a little bit and then got injured and he's out for the season.
Yeah, Jimenez is right here below Callum Wilson for him.
Yeah.
So it's gain. Salah though.
First 2 games week, first 3 games week, I captained Jimenez.
Okay.
And, he did get some points. I remember if you have a look at the previous, I want to see how many points he got actually.
Jimenez, do you know which rank you had him in?
Maybe go to the first 2 weeks, game week 3 and 4.
So Jimenez here 8. He was vice captain. 6.
Yeah.
You captained him here 0.
Oh yeah, okay, that's the week I captained.
And did he start in this game? You did, right?
Yeah, of course, I would have.
Yeah, and then you captained him the next week as well.
Yeah, and he got like a
And
minus.
he got a 4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I
Okay.
guess that's where the 2 captaincy came from.
Yeah. So I think that's why he scored the first 2. I had him on my team from game week 1, and
Yeah.
I think in game week 3, nothing happened.
Yeah. Salah, Fernandez, most captain, followed by De Bruyne right behind. Most started, Fernandez, Son, and Martinez were the most 3. Bench was as Holding, I guess, was the only one. Justin is there. And then these 2 are like basically bench fodder.
Yeah, Holding was there for my bench for a long time. I got him at 4.5,
Mm.
and this is 4.2, so he just kept eating away money.
Yeah.
Justin, I think I had him, but I had more expensive defenders. He was only like 4 point something.
Yeah.
There were weeks where I had Justin. I was like, oh, I should have started him. But after a while, I think he was injured. So I think I had him for a few weeks. I didn't transfer him out.
Okay. That explains it.
Hmm.
So now let me switch tools to back to the browser, and this kind of shows you what players you owned. Where is that? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me keep switching screens. Okay, here we go. So this is mine. This is basically my season highlights from FPL Optimized. It shows the entire squad that I have owned the most, that I've got points from the most. And let's start from the back. My goalkeeper. Clearly, my major problem this season was my goalkeeper. And it can be shown by like McCarthy right there. Martinez, I got only 52 points from Martinez. I probably should have jumped on the Martinez bandwagon really early, which I didn't. And that became like a source of problems for me throughout my season. Justin there, Cancelo, Trent. And those are my 3 high scoring ones. Interestingly, all 3 were fullbacks. And then on the 2 bench were also Kufal and Stones. So 4 fullbacks and 1 centre back. But the only ones who ended the season were Trent. The remaining 4 defensive players I didn't have in the last bit of the season, which probably also explains my up and down form in terms of not able to hold a proper defense. Salah, Fernandez, Son, Lingard, Grealish were my 5 most used midfielders. It also shows basically because I played a 3-5-2 formation, most of it, and that's why mostly you see a very high 3-5-2 as well. Salah, Fernandez, I owned the most. Son, I owned for a good amount of time. Lingard, I owned him in that patch and then kept him, which I probably shouldn't have done after when his patch ended. And then Grealish got injured for a long time, and I couldn't find a 5th midfielder, or I didn't get a 5th midfielder who was good enough to replace Grealish. And I thought Gundogan would be here, but clearly Gundogan didn't. Gundogan got 67 points for me. So he didn't make the midfield. So that's something I missed out on. And then Kane and Calvert-Lewin. So my Calvert-Lewin points came from the start of the season, and Kane I've kept for a long time as well.
Interesting. Cancelo is there. The amount of times they kept changing the defense.
Yeah, I know. I had Stones and Cancelo a lot.
Yeah, you don't have much Leeds presence in there.
No, I don't. That's the thing.
And Dallas in mine.
So I think those were the things that I didn't step on early enough. Like the bandwagons, I never got on top of them early enough. Like I have Bamford there, but then I had Bamford for a long time of the season because of his price. But like Dallas, I should have stepped on earlier. Rafinha, I should have stepped on earlier. That shows like those. Even I don't think Rafinha ends up in this list as well for me. Like he's probably in the next few pages. But like I could have got more if I had probably fixed my team a bit more better. You would have seen like when you go to y'all's teams, y'all will notice the difference in terms of where your points have been. Because I have 1, 2, 3 triple figure digit players, and the rest are all just double digit players. And points distribution in terms of minutes, I had 39.3% of minutes. So probably not. I don't think that's.
What do you mean 39% minutes?
I think the amount of success rate of my players starting, I think, probably. I'm not really sure on this one.
It has to be higher than that. 39% seems too low for success of your players starting.
Where is the minutes here? Yeah, it's probably higher. I don't know how it's called.
I think that percentage is the points. So the 948 divided by the 2.
Oh, yes, probably. Yeah, okay. So 39% of my points were from minutes, and 14% from clean sheets, 28% from goals, 12% from assists, 12% from bonus, 1% saves. Negatives on 2.2% from yellow cards. I attribute most of this to Jack Grealish and his inability to maintain discipline. But yeah, and hits 68 hits 2.8, something I need to look at in terms of reducing. So that's something. And yeah, that's basically outlined in this graph here. So clean sheet, I had a 37.78 clean sheet success ratio, which is pretty good, I think, because when I compare it to your guys as well, which we'll notice later, it's very similar. Goals 32, assists 24, bonus 25, captain 56% captaincy, which is pretty good. Anything above 50, I think is I managed to have a good captaincy hold. And this outer barrier, I think, is like the top managers in the world. So my assist is very close with the top managers in the world. So I've got like a good amount of assist points compared to like the topmost managers. My
You
captain,
can add our team IDs then, compare as
yeah,
well.
that's what. So that's what I was gonna do. So I'll just add yours there. But first, before we compare, I'm just gonna go through yours as well, and then we'll compare at the end. And yeah, this is just the timing of ownership where you got most of your players from. This shows Salah that I got in like 3 chunks. Kane, I've got in 2 chunks, interestingly, mainly. Even though he racked up like that 200 odd points for me, I got him in small chunks. Fernandes for large period of points. And yeah. And
18, a free hit, right? From the looks of it.
Yes, this is a free hit.
Right, okay.
And then this is all right, but okay, this is the interesting part where my teams were kind of split by. So my mids were mostly premium, and my forward line was interestingly split between premium and budget. This premium is Harry Kane, probably. The budget is probably the likes of Antonio, Bamford, and mid price is in my defense, and interestingly somewhat towards my mid as well. Which the latter end of the season, a lot of us were like using the mid-priced midfielders. Defense was usually anyway budget or mid-price, which is usually the case for me. And yeah, my average formation was a 3-4-2. Probably not 3-4-2, but like it's between a 3-4-3 and a 3-5-2 that I used most. Interestingly, I had a good success rate with a 4-4-2 as well, but I think that's a very small sample size, but still an average of 95 points for a 4-4-2 was pretty good. Something I should have a look at for next season. So that's mine. I'm gonna go to, this is Rushant, I believe. Yep. So Martinez, 150 points. So that itself is like the difference between my 60 odd points at max for the goalkeeper. You stayed with Martinez for a long time. Cresswell, Dallas, Justin, Rudiger, and Stones were your 5 defensive players. 3 fullbacks, 2 center backs. And then here, look at this, the midfield. The amount of triple digit players you have in your midfield. Son, De Bruyne, Salah, Fernandes as 4. And then Grealish. I think Grealish, you also, to try and find that 5th midfielder wasn't easy as probably we hoped for. And then Bamford and Kane. And Calvert-Lewin on the bench.
That's unbelievable, that midfield.
Yeah.
Midfield was pretty stable throughout the whole year. And you were just making punts everywhere else.
Yeah, because I think the midfield is pretty much the template, right? Remember the template that we talked about? Like this was probably the highest owned midfielders and the premium ones. And I think thankfully I had early on a few investments which paid off, which allowed me to bring my players in. Like my squad value was 106, which was critical. And I think the big thing this season for me was defense. Like defense, I didn't have to make too many changes. Which I always found in previous years that defense is one where, it's something that can go wrong so easy. Like, if someone concedes a goal, they goes to clean sheet and they don't do anything in attack, or I think they just gain 2 points. So I found that Cresswell early on was doing a lot. Justin early on was delivering a lot. So that helped me sort of, do tweaks around my strikers and.
Yeah. So that's the thing, because so you had 38% of your points from minutes, 15% from clean sheets, 26% from goals, and then 12% from assists, 12% from bonus, 1.4% from saves, and 2.7% from defense conceded. Apart from that, everything else is same. 40 hits. So your hits are way less probably compared to the other two of us. 1.6% of hits. And then here's the thing. So your clean sheet, you have a 41% success rate clean sheet. I had 37%. Goal 34, assist 23, bonus 26, captaincy over 50%. I think which is pretty good. And here, look at this. So your goal percentage is very near the top managers, which is why your rank is also really high. Clean sheet and bonus also pretty good. Assist also pretty good. Captaincy maybe could improve next season, I guess. That's the thing. And then Fernandes. You own Fernandes for this large chunk over here. The last few game weeks you didn't own him, which was probably a correct call, which probably boosted your rank more. Salah you bought in chunks. Heung-min Son you had a decent amount of time as well. Apart from this couple game weeks here, you owned Heung-min Son for his good start, his good end, but the middle part probably could have been replaced.
Look at that. It's funny that I missed him I didn't have him on the games.
Yeah.
The game week 2, 11, 12, 13, where he actually scored a lot. I didn't have him. Son was bad in those midweeks. You can see between 18, and that kind of shows, how ties back to my ranking drop, where I had players between game week 18 and 22, who haven't really done much apart from the likes of maybe Fernandes and De Bruyne. Spurs didn't do much.
We can add De Bruyne as well here. So if you were to add De Bruyne, which is 164, and then plot it, look at that. So you own De Bruyne for most of his peaks, except for this and this game week 38. That's a different story. So and you captain De Bruyne as well during those.
Yeah, I think that's that fall after the triple captain. So triple captain in game week 19, which is average. I think after that's the week he stopped. He got injured.
Yeah.
Around those 3 weeks, I didn't have him. It was bad. That's when I think my points started dipping. I didn't bring in Gundogan early on, and yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So much analysis can be done.
And then your team was mostly towards premium mids, and that showed with your high priced triple digit midfield players as well. And then the rest was very balanced out, I would say. Goalkeeper, defense, mid. The budgets and the mid price is pretty balanced out. Your forward line was more budget favored, hence why the lack of Harry Kane, which shows. But then the others were able to hold on, like Bamford, Antonio maybe.
Nacho,
Nacho, yeah.
I had Antonio before his injury as well, and then I had to swap him out after. I think that seems about right in terms of the kind of players I was trying to target and stuff. So.
And then you owned a very high 3-5-2 and a 4-4-2. So that different compared to me, I had a 3-4-3 and a 3-5-2. So you stuck with two forwards mainly for the season, and then occasionally tried the 3-4-3 as well, which decently paid off for 71 points rank. So that's yours. Now let's go to Abin. Abin again, 103 points for Martinez. He's held Martinez as well for a long time. Dallas, Robertson, Trent, Cresswell, and Chilwell, all five are fullbacks, attacking fullbacks.
That's right.
And Dallas almost hitting that 100-pointer as well.
Yeah.
And then again, the triple-digit players. So you've had both your frontline strikers were triple-digit, which is really good. And then, like I told, he stepped onto that Gundogan bandwagon even before it was a bandwagon.
Yeah.
And 133 points from Gundogan, 182 from Salah, 290 from Fernandes. De Bruyne he owned for a lot as well. Grealish 75. I think that last fifth midfielder, a lot of us held Grealish, and the moment Grealish got injured, finding a proper replacement was probably not as easy because there were players who came in form, went out of form.
Yeah. I
Um,
think Lingard was kind of that replacement for a lot of people
Yeah.
at that time. That's still a good point also. Grealish, I mean, how many games? I think he missed like the last 10 odd game weeks, didn't he?
yeah, so he's been here for 15 games for you.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good return.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Gundogan was there for 9 games and
Yeah,
managed to rack in 133 points for you.
Yeah, it's massive, wasn't it? I mean, he was scoring a goal every game, goal assist, goal assist. I mean, he was on his way to Player of the Year. But you know, when De Bruyne came back, it messed it up.
That's
It's
it.
fairly stable as well. Like you're getting a lot of returns from your defense, and your average points for defenders is higher than the two of us. And you got a way out of Kane than all of us as well. So
yeah.
I feel like if your second half was much better, you could have been like the top 10.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had some focus and I wasn't buying a house, then I would have been okay.
Next season, don't worry.
Yeah, I have a full season to focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Vardy here, you've captained twice as well. And then the rest is like normal. McCarthy just the plain.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, your minutes. So you had 40% of your points coming from minutes, which is higher than both of us as well. We were in the 37, 39, 14% from clean sheets, 26% from goals, 12% from assist, 11% bonus, 1.2% saves, and 2.8% goals conceded, and 2% yellow cards. Again, I attribute this to Grealish as well, like mine. I think he was a very high yellow card magnet.
Yeah, I took 36 points hits, isn't it? Jeez.
Yeah, and then 36 points in hits, which isn't too bad actually.
Yeah.
That's actually lower than both of us.
Yeah, I got 40 something. So
yeah. And then 33%, 30.85% clean sheet, 30% goal.
That was like, it would have been much higher before. Like I brought, it got messed up when Chelsea, they brought Kepa in for Mendy. I don't know if Kepa was going to be a starting goalkeeper. Then I brought in Schmeichel, and then he was just horrible for me. Like 4 games, he probably got me like 4 points in 4 games. It was horrible. And then moved on to Pickford, but that kind of messed up my goalkeeping.
And now this shows you, like, see, your captaincy points.
That's insane.
Yeah, your captaincy is on point with like some of the top managers. The points where you lost were in your clean sheet and probably bonus points.
Yeah.
Because the captaincy is just insane. So out of the 3 of us, you have the best captaincy selections that you made.
Teach me your ways, Abin.
Hey,
I don't know how to captain.
Right, this is exactly why you need a combined team with all of our skills.
Yeah, which is what we're going to probably do next season. So I'll talk about that later. But like, yeah, that's insane. And then we got here. Fernandes, you've owned him for the most of your season as well. It's only that 1 point in game week 8 that you missed out, the 1 haul. Apart from that, you got all of his hauls. Salah, you owned Salah for brief chunks, missed out in the middle. Kane also you owned for brief chunks, but I want what I'm interested is to put Gundogan here.
Yeah.
And look at that, Gundogan's.
Wow.
So you missed him out for these 3 because he was out, but then his major, like the points where he came in, and he scored for you, you bought him in and you captained him as well in most of those.
Yeah.
So that shows basically where your points have come from.
Right.
And the selections as well. And then again, your midfield is very premium, this thing. And so your midfield, interestingly, is between premium and budget. So like there's a massive gap in terms of highly priced midfielders and
I think that's more against good. Like in the last 8-10 game weeks, I mean I had always about 3 to 5 million bank in my bank. I was just going for cheap alternatives, trying to find a way of creeping up. So I always kept going away from the template. So I losing a lot of points then. I mean I had Sigurdsson, I had Ward-Prowse, so I thought I was bringing differentials, but none of them ever paid off. So yeah.
And then your defense was, I think, probably more mid-price compared to us. Forward line was split evenly between premium and budget. I think that's due to the likes of Bamford, Antonio, and then Harry Kane in the premium price point.
Yeah.
Vardy. So that's and then your average formation 4-4-3-3. Interestingly, so you held more you 4-4-3-3 and 4-4-2 were your more
Yeah. And then you'll see it from my team about. I think I just enjoyed having fullbacks.
Yeah.
I think there were 5 fullbacks on my team.
Yeah.
Robertson, Dallas, Trent, Chilwell, and Creswell. I enjoyed having two or three of them. So I was relying on a lot of assists from the defense.
So you favored your defenders more. I favored my midfield more, and Rushant had a steady between the midfield and striker, but he played 2 strikers mainly. So he was between 4-4-2 and 3-5-2. Yeah. So and now something interesting is.
Well, this just shows there's no any value of having Ruben Diaz in your team. They'll give you a clean sheet, but nothing more than that.
Yeah.
All the points are from those fullbacks.
Yeah, so having attacking fullbacks is always really good.
Yeah.
Attacking fullbacks or fullbacks out of position, like Landstrom in the previous season. This season it is Dallas who was out of position because he was playing in midfield. So like having players like that as well is probably something interesting.
Yeah, I think there's the more and more. I think football's changed as well. Like there's a lot more attacking fullbacks now. It's just part of the team's formations now.
Yeah.
A lot of managers are, have the 3 defenders at the back with the 2 right wing backs, left wing backs.
Yeah.
Creating a lot more opportunities for the defenders to score and attack. Like you have Sufal and Semedo.
Looking at this, it's disappointing to see that United's fullbacks are not anyway. Where's Shaw and Bissaka?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh.
Oh no, what did I do? Why did I do that? Okay, hold on. I'm just going to copy our teams here and compare. And then I'm just going to add mine. I don't remember what was mine. Was that it? I don't even know. Oh no, I added someone else.
No, that's you.
No, that's someone else. Okay, hold on. Let me add. This is yours, right?
Yeah, that's
yours.
Yeah.
Let me get my points back again. 384,378. So there we go. And like, okay, there we go. So Abin clearly has like insane captaincy rates, but then where he's missed out is in clean sheets, and Rushant has the higher clean sheets and the higher goals as well. Something that I had was the higher assist and second in captaincy. And then Rushant and myself both had bonus, very close to bonus as well. So this is probably due to having midfielders who are probably very creative as well. But Abin nailed his captaincy, and like that's like insane. And that's also shows by, I don't know, where is it? Something that you need to probably your defense clean sheet, but because of going for high fullbacks, it also meant that you were going for teams that are very attacking. Which meant that your clean sheets were also very less compared to the 2 of us. But it's pretty good in general. Overall.
Put us 3 together, then you got a good circle there.
Yeah, that's what. So something interesting, I compared the guy in Rushant's work league as well. Who came first in the classic league. He took 92 hits and finished above us. So that you don't necessarily have to take less hits to finish high. If you take the hits at the correct time.
Wow, 92.
Yeah. So that's something like what I noticed was, I think there were times when I wanted to take hits, but didn't end up taking it because I just didn't want to. But I think that shows that by not taking those hits at certain times, it ended up keeping players who are not performing in there for longer, which probably was a mistake. So something to, I think, improve on for next season.
And that makes sense because if you look at his squad value, it's 107 or something.
Yeah. So it's insane.
Where like us were like thinking about, oh, we'll bring him in next week. You already lost about 100 or 200k on this player, and you also now missed out on him performing this week. Plus, holding a player who's out of form or injured or whatever.
Yeah, like let me add his as well just in case to see how. So he finished higher than all of us as well. But his assist is like, if you look at his box, right? It's more inwards compared to all of us. But I think
this was pretty bad as well. Like, it's surprising it was the lowest.
Yeah. So, but I think he's, because of all the hits he's taken, he's managed to rotate players faster of like who were not performing. Which probably is one that's the only way I can explain it, because his assist is almost on par with us, and his goals is also, his assist and goals are the high ones, but like his captaincy is very less. So his captaincy hasn't been that great. And I think his captaincy not being that great is probably due to the fact that he was leading a lot as well. So he went with the more safer route, and not necessarily the safer route paid off. Like the likes of Salah didn't really pay off always. But yeah. So now let me just switch to, I found another site. I'm just rolling out with, I just found all of these sites. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to look at stats.
Mostly very similar. I would scan to others race.
Yeah. So this is FPL Retro. Kind of answers what we've been saying. So this was mine. Gundogan had the best performance for me in terms of highest points, and it was game week 24 when City played their double game week. Total captain score was 594, and I had a potential captain score of 1040 if I picked my captains correctly. Most captain Salah. Best game week period was game week 29 to 33. Worst was game week 19 to 23. That's immediately after I think I played my free hit and all. So it went down there. And then this is my rank progression. It's been up, down, up, down. Over here, it's like, okay. And points per game week in terms of average, I've gone over the average a few times, but under the whenever I'm under the average, it's under the average by quite a lot. So that's something to notice. In terms of transfers, so this one, it shows my game week 1 team is in white, how it performed, and compared to my actual game week team, not too far off except for this bit. And then here's my ranking, my transfer benefits. So my transfer benefits, I think I'd probably been good, because like I bought in players at the latter end of the season. I bought in players who always got me points compared to the players I took out. Didn't cost me as much compared to the start of the season. That's something there. In number of hits, 68. Most points benched in game week, in one game week, for game week 20, 17 points. I had 17 points for quite a long time. Number of transfers, chips, nothing much here. This is interesting. So game week 18, I hit 53 points in my free hit. Without my free hit, if I didn't play it, I would have got 6 points. Game week 32, triple captain, but the best time to triple captain would have been Gundogan for me. Bench boost, 87 points, 14 points for bench. My wildcard team, game week 31, 64 points, wildcard 2. And if I didn't wildcard, I would have got 66. So probably shouldn't have wildcarded as much in that game week. Same thing can be said for my wildcard in the first time as well. So that's basically my history. And then my rank history, yeah, that's the same thing that we've seen previously.
That's your rank history? What's that?
Rank history is here.
Yeah, wow.
Started in 2012. So this part, this is all like school, not focused too much. And then started to focus around last season mainly. But then I've been improving if you look at like in the years.
Oh, you've been playing a long time, man.
Yeah.
8 seasons, 9 seasons.
Yeah. So that's mine. This is Rushan's rank progression. He hit the wildcard early, and ever since he hit the wildcard, he's been going up, 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 up. Triple captain. Went slide down, and then still up, 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 up. So you've been in that 100,000 from game week 10.
That's 1 million, isn't it?
That's 1 million.
Oh, that's 1 million. Sorry, top 1 million player, right? Game week 10, and then you managed to maintain up. From game week 26, you've been going upwards.
Yeah, I think my big jump was when I did my free hit. That was probably a big jump for me. But apart from that, I started the season terrible. Like my team was like completely different to what we had. We had like the likes of like Mitrovic. I don't even know, some random like Aubameyang captain. I thought, Aubameyang being a midfielder, all that stuff. How I'm glad I had to work out early because my team was not doing anything early on.
I mean, yeah, that's that. Look, like your worst game week period was from the start.
Yeah.
I think if you look at get to mine, it'll be mine is exactly like Russia's. It's
the ranking
early and worst game here.
Your points per game week were more better though. Like if you went under, it wasn't too under. It was like very close to average, which was interesting. And then total captain score 574, potential 1023. So very similar to my captain score. I think Abin's captain score is going to be insanely high.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think so.
Your best game week was best game week was 126 points. Game week 35, the triple game week. I think that's up for a lot of us, I guess. And then transfers. This is your game week 1 team, and compared to actual, your transfers were interesting here. Like you didn't take too many. You might have, like, I guess at the start, you bought in De Bruyne, lost out Son. This is like game week 2 when Son scored against United, I think.
Yeah, I won't talk about that again.
Yeah, and then like there are a few downs, but overall, this is a massive one. Look at this. Game week 27, you had a benefit of 44 points by bringing in James Ward-Prowse, De Bruyne, and taking off Barnes and Salah.
Yeah, I think
that was huge.
De Bruyne that week as well.
Yeah, that was huge. Worst transfer, but best transfer is this one. Most points on bench, game week 35, 31 points. That's because of your triple game week.
Yeah.
And yeah, chips. I think you did pretty well with your chips overall.
Yeah.
Except for the Gundogan one.
Yeah, triple captain wasn't the best.
Yeah. I think triple captain for all of us probably missed out.
Yeah.
But your wildcard was much better than my wildcard in general. Like your second wildcard at least.
Yeah, my wildcard too, I kept it late. I only used it in 36. That
came in handy.
Yeah, I think it did for me. That was big reason for my, I think, jump towards the end. I was holding out in the last 3 weeks. The greens up I was able to plan my team up to the end. So.
Chips, your history. So this is your best season so far. Team of the season we've kind of seen in the previous sites as well. Now Abin. Total captain score 640.
Wow.
Way better than both of us. Potential captain score 1002. Best game week period was game week 16 to game week 20. The worst was like Rushant right at the start.
Yeah.
Game week 2 to game week 6.
I started early on. I mean,
yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. So first time playing. So
really good for your first season though.
Yeah, that's a. And something interesting is like you free hit it and then bench boost, which is what most people.
Yeah.
So you basically made the most of your team at that point, and then you wildcarded into a triple captain, which was good. Best game week 98 points from game week 19, and then your average points seems much more higher. Yeah, 61.7. I wonder what. Prashant's is 64. Okay.
The graph is just misleading. Right?
Yeah, 63. I think yours is.
It looks all nicer.
It looks all nicer, yeah.
I'd rather have your graph than my graph.
But yeah, that's your points per game week, and then if you go to your transfers,
it has to be Gundogan.
Yeah. So your transfer benefit, look at this. That's fun. 29 points from Gundogan and Stones coming in. De Bruyne and Mitchell going out. 22 points from just bringing in Fernandes and switching out Salah.
It's some good transfers early on.
Game
week 8 and.
Yeah, that's what. So look at this. His initial few game weeks, we had really good transfers you made, and then the last few game weeks is where you lost out on points from taking out players.
That's right.
And then the game week versus actual team. That's nothing much there. Hits 36. Worst transfers, Shaw Mendy
Yeah.
to holding striker.
That's what I said earlier. It was like the worst thing I did there.
Yeah, in preparation for the triple game as
I
well.
didn't know what Tuchel was doing with bringing Kepa and giving him chances, and then it's like, God, I couldn't take this risk.
Yeah.
Like what happened to you at the end, Meslier and Garcia.
Season. This is your first season. Pretty good so far.
Good job.
Oh, what a good score there. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But see,
That's
all in all, it's like compared to Ryan and my first seasons, your first season started
pretty solid. Like really solid.
insane. Like if you look at our history,
Yeah, that's what like ours is like in hold on.
millions.
Million.
Yeah, million. I mean like millions. Like this season I hardly played in my defense. I started late. I started like way late into the game as well.
Yeah.
I remember some of these seasons were me just not understanding the game. Like I had Bale when he was at Spurs initially the first time around. And then there was all these rumors that Bale is going to leave and all of that's coming in. So I didn't take out Bale as much. I remember I had Ramsey and then Ramsey got injured. And I had so much value in Ramsey that I was like, I'm not going to get rid of Ramsey because I had so much value in him.
Memory from like 7 years ago, 8
Yeah.
years ago. Good
So I was
memory.
like, those are all mistakes I made back in the day. So now I'm like, okay, now I know better. Then this is FPL statistics, very similar to the previous one as well. Something interesting here was this one, the active goalie and sub goalie. So I kind of like had goalkeepers okay wise, but I guess look at this bit. This is where I had no goalkeepers. Like, so I played the wrong goalkeeper twice. But like there were points where I didn't even have a goalkeeper, which was probably my mistake. And I think something I need to improve on next season. I need to figure out how to avoid this goalkeeper problem. This was
In your defense, like no one expected Meslier to get benched. So
yeah, this is true.
yeah, because I was actually going to bring in Meslier as well as part of my free hit, my wild card. Then I decided that because Raphinha came back from injury, that's the only reason why I brought in Raphinha. If Raphinha was injured, I probably would have doubled up the Meslier at Dallas. So
yeah, like I think I should have just stayed with Martinez. I took Martinez off thinking Aston Villa's performance were like the teams they were playing were not great. But like, yeah, what to do? It is what it is.
there weren't any other standout keepers for that price point. So I think people who, because Martinez was so highly owned, that's the reason why I had him as well. Like, yeah, I can bring in someone else, try a punt, but if Martin's going to get 2 points, at least everyone else is going to get 2 points.
Yeah,
so,
that's also true.
You know what I mean, like so.
And then this isn't too much. My highest game week rank was 11,000. Lowest was 5 million odd. Averaged about 2 million. In the 0.83% of all users. Not bad. And yeah, top 2. This should be 2 now. I think this needs to change. But like, yeah, that was what I found interesting from this side in terms of the goalkeeper one. Previous ones didn't really show what your goalkeeper was like. And then if we go to, this is Rushan's, his goalkeeper one. Yeah, you had more. I think this is the one time. So you played your goalkeeper wrong 5 times. This is at the start though. But then after that, you got a consistent goalkeeper. Over here, game week 33, you were unlucky. And then this is game week 35. I think both keepers basically.
Yeah, I had Pickford and Martinez. So.
Yeah, so they both came up with the points. Highest rank 3,000 game week rank. Lowest was 6 million. Averaged about a 1 million, which is pretty good.
What's that points difference from every top goalkeeper total? 2,552. What is that?
Where's that?
Under all players. Points.
All players. Points differential from every top game week total. It's probably the 2,552. Interesting. I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's the total points.
For every game week. Probably.
Between how many points between, say, for example, at one game I get 100.
Yeah, and someone else got like 150 or something.
Yeah, it's a difference between that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh yeah, something else interesting I found. You owned every single player in the game.
What?
From like sorry, you owned every single team.
Oh.
Player from every single team. My bad. You owned a player from every single team. Compared to me, I owned a player from almost every team apart from West Brom.
I had Matthias Pereira in the beginning. You know what? I should have stopped on Matthias Pereira. I actually started my first game week. I had Matthias Pereira.
Yeah.
And then he did nothing. And then like towards the end, he's like now one of the top scoring, fantasy midfielders. And like
he knew he was getting relegated, so he needed
a new team. Him and Joe Willock just like started creating history. Like,
yeah. This shows my bias towards Man United. I probably should reduce this a bit more. And then you had Aston Villa mainly. And then we move on to Abin.
Mine's a shocking goalkeeper one. I know exactly what.
Ooh! Why does your chart keep looking? Oh no, it's really high double digits. That's Martinez.
No, it wasn't. So this was the worst thing I did in my thing. I had Martinez and my reserve was Areola.
Oh.
So when Areola was, so then what happened here was, if Martinez was starting, Areola had a great week. But then when I put Areola to start, Martinez had a good week. So I never got it right. And it happened. It kept going. Then I was like, I can't do this. I can't have two good goalkeepers. It's hurting me.
I remember we spoke about this in one of the previous videos. I think you mentioned about the fact that you're getting your goalkeepers wrong because you had both Areola and Martinez.
Yeah. Oh, what a mess. Never again.
But you got it only wrong 6 times in total, which is not too bad.
Enough damage. Look at that.
And your highest was 55. Average was about 2 million. Lowest 7 million. This is something interesting. So you had 75 double-digit point hauls and 6 benched double-digit point hauls. I need to see what ours was, because so Rushan's is 89 double-digit point hauls, and then 4 benched, and mine was 74, similar to Abin's, and 4 benched. So Rushant had a lot of double-digit point haul players, which probably is very evident with his midfield as well, being very highly the triple-digit midfield that we saw earlier. And then you kind of owned every single club, a player from every single club, with Liverpool and Aston Villa very highly favored. Yeah, that's. Oh wait, I was looking at the wrong one. This is Abin's. He's owned from everyone except for Sheffield United. With Chelsea, Leicester, and West Ham highly favored.
Cameron Brewster, right? Need some love for
Brewster. Yeah. And then Man City. So Abin had a lot of the top teams: Chelsea, Leicester, West Ham, and Man City, and Arsenal. Who did you bring from Arsenal? Oh, Aubameyang.
Usually days you got 5 Southampton players. That's probably the most interesting.
Which one?
Southampton.
Southampton.
The goalkeepers.
What's his name?
James Ward-Prowse.
No, well, that's him. That his defense.
Vestergaard.
No, he has a double barrel name.
Benderek.
No.
Redmond.
He's been injured for a while.
Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then McCarthy as well. That's my goalkeeper at the start.
Did you have Ings as well? Did you at some point?
No, I don't have Ings. No.
Southampton
had a cracking start of the season. If you remember, they were like in the top.
Yeah, they're sure pretty.
They're having a great season. I mean, they even beat. I think they beat Liverpool, and they were doing well.
I just saw this by points. So Liverpool, City, United, Leeds, Villa, Spurs, West Ham. That's where your points came from. And then for Rushant, it is City, De Bruyne, very high favored here. United, Liverpool, Spurs, Leeds, Villa, very similar as well. And then West Ham. And then mine was United, City. Oh no, Liverpool, Spurs. I had a Spurs, Hurricane, United, City, Leicester, West Ham, and Leeds. So yeah, and then this is the final tool. I kept this tool for last because I don't really understand the way it's calculated, so I'm not really sure about this tool. But it's a very highly computational apparently, and so I had a decent amount of luck apparently involved, in terms of how my points were going. The risk I took was probably apparently very little, but my team was a bit more towards the elite template, so the top managers. My expected goals and massive data. So this is something I probably need to improve on, where I am getting players who probably have good underlying numbers, where they're probably supposed to get like really good points in terms of points return. Something I probably haven't been looking at. I guess that's why my luck is a bit more higher, because probably not looking at players who should deliver, but I haven't really looked into those. So apparently my expected rate to get into the top 100K was 16.5%. So I'm not sure how this is calculated. My risk, 59% relative risk. So relative outcome against, so this elite 1000 is apparently 1000 managers that they picked, top managers. And I was, before game week 38, I was 4 points ahead of them. And then I fell to -6. And then these are the total FPL points within my area, I believe. I'm not really sure how to explain this. I couldn't really find out more info on this, but I thought it was interesting, based on how like my risk, my luck, and how closer my team was to a template, the elites managers moves as well. Then this is Rushant's. Rushant has a high level of luck involved, but he also has a high level of risk involved.
Yeah, go hard or go home, boys.
Yeah, so that's something that's interesting, because you have a high risk and a high luck. What I thought was that the higher the risk you took, the high chance of getting luck as well, because you were taking a lot of risk as well. But your team was more or less towards the elite managers in terms of the moves they were making. So this, I think all of us need to improve on in terms of data. Hopefully next season when I get a membership, I'll share it with you guys so you can see more data as well. And maybe we can improve on that. Your risk 82%. But yeah, here you were 24 points ahead of the elite 1000. That's something I noticed. And then yeah, Abin's luck is a bit low.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I took
Yeah,
some differential options and never paid off afterwards.
and then your risk was a bit more higher, but the luck, you didn't convert into the luck in terms of paying off.
Yeah.
And you're 74 points behind the elite 1000. So I think the difference between the two of us and Abin's was like more of the luck was kind of involved. I don't know why, whether that is to do with the likes of, I guess in my case, I remember bringing Godfrey and then he got 12 points. I don't know whether that is converted towards luck or not. So stuff like that. I'm not really sure how that's calculated.
Yeah. For me, my only week I would say I got lucky was like when Phillips, for example, he had played, after Van Dijk's injury, whatever, he started every single game week.
Yeah.
I had no goals, no assist. And the 1 week I started him, he scored an assist and a clean sheet. He got like double-digit points. So maybe that's probably the only thing I can think I got lucky.
Yeah, that's what I don't know. Like I don't know how it's calculating. I know, so this is probably looking at underlying numbers, right? And there are players who look good on the eye, like Lingard and all. When he went on his purple patch, he didn't have the great numbers, but he was always really good. So probably it's more towards we preferred players who were more looked good on the game.
Yeah.
And picked players because of that, even though the numbers didn't kind of match against it. I don't really.
Maybe it's like players who haven't scored much, throughout the season, but they maybe scored their first goal or like,
something like I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm not really sure how it's calculated.
Like Stones or Philip, like or some of the defenders who haven't, usually don't get many points. Maybe, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that's basically all the tools I have. So we'll probably
Yeah,
that was a lot. So what the plans for next season, right? So I spoke with Abin in the last video, and it was more towards creating a team, like a FPL panel team, where the three of us will make a decision on like what player to transfer out, who to captain, and see how that team does throughout the season. See, like, of all three of us knowledge combined into one team, see how that team performs. That was one idea probably to do for next season, part of the podcast.
I think that's a great idea. And also maybe like if we're gonna do that one, maybe we should think like we can have a different account just to target highest points of the week. I don't know, just suggestion like, you know, like it doesn't matter the hits or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get that feather under our belt. Highest points for the week.
Yeah, but like obviously
Some people just take the piss and just put it on everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
So you want two different accounts? That's probably
well,
something.
maybe. I mean, that's something to consider because then we don't have to worry about the hits. We'll just try getting, you know, put like our dream team.
Yeah.
Every
Let's
week.
see how it does.
Yeah, like doesn't matter what the hits is. Doesn't matter. It can take like 20 hits, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind that. I actually like that.
Maybe
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we'll try. So that's something we'll do for next season. Those two. We'll have a dream team and also a team of like just see how it does generally.
Yeah, like we know for a game week who the best players, best we're gonna think are gonna do. Doesn't matter which team.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. All right. Anything that you probably, before we end off, anything that you guys probably should improve on next season? Anything that thoughts?
I think focus for me is, I mean, I'll go first. Sorry. It's more like I want to just get I think the mistake I did this probably learn from the season is like early on, I tried too much. I need to like, you know, just stick with the, you know, basics and trying to keep my team with the template early on as much as possible. And once you sort of have that lead, then you can start tweaking things around and take a bit more risks. I think I took way too much risk in the beginning, which is what, you know, you can see my ranking go from like here and slowly rising back up. So I think more for me is like that. And I guess just focus more on just building squad value early on.
Cool. Abin?
I think mine is opposite of that. I had the template team and I just went away from it, just trying to be, I probably got a big head and then just were like, okay, I'm 48 in the world, 48,000 in the world. I'm getting to the top 10. And then I just started doing stupid things without any necessary backing or stats that proved those players would be better. So rather stick to that template, I guess, when I was there, and rode that luck. I should rode that wave. I should have done that.
And then I think for me, it's more of like to back myself instead of like there were players that I was like I should have got in, and I didn't press the button on them. Is that, and also I think for me it's to try and build squad value. Because I noticed only in the latter bit of the season, I realized I was looking at price rises, player price rises, and trying to target that to try and build squad value. Probably should have done that from the start of the season to see how that helps.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I had none of that. I think my value was in the end was like 103 or something. I didn't even think of that. So that's definitely something I need to work on.
So that's it. All right. This is the last video for this season. I'll see you guys next season as well. Enjoy the Euros. Thank you guys for being on the podcast as well this season. Thank you for everyone watching. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll see you guys next season.
See you guys. Enjoy the break.
Peace.